Robert Hardy here to talk about the field of optics, and in general I'm also going to talk about the different key players in optics, what kind of drives up your prices. If any of you guys saw the 60 Minutes piece that was done this past Sunday, kudos to you, because they spent an entire hour talking about why eyeglasses are so expensive. And I wanted to talk about why that is and then what we can do to improve that, as well as just in general why, the key players. And you guys will learn some information just by watching this presentation. First, we're going to talk about the key players. So there's this giant company, Italian company called Luxottica. You have probably never heard that name before, but they actually own, throughout the U.S. and Canada, I believe it's over 2,000 retail establishments. And let's go down the list. You've got Lens Crafters, Pearl Vision, Target Optical, Sears Optical, and Sunglass Hut. And there's many others too. That's just the major ones that you've probably heard of. Of that, they make frames. They're primarily a frame manufacturer. They manufacture frames. You may have heard of Ray-Ban. I'm sure you have. Oakley, Ray-Ban and Oakley, and they own the rights to Ralph Lauren, Polo Ralph Lauren. Those are two distinct lines. Let's see here. Chanel, Versace, Tiffany & Co., Dolce & Gabbana, Brooks Brothers, Burberry. Let's see here, which other ones? I'm probably missing a couple, but they have like over 20 of the biggest names and licenses that you've ever heard of. So even if you don't shop at one of their stores, you buy a Ray-Ban frame. Who hasn't ever heard of Ray-Ban, right? Or Oakley. And basically, they're a giant company, and they own all these different aspects. On top of that, not even including, I just said the retail establishment, so they got the frames. They also have their own vision insurance. So they have what we call vertical integration. They truly, from start to finish, you go to one of their stores, the frame, the lenses, everything's just gonna come straight from them. Okay? So they're the number one. They're on top. Behind that, you probably have Walmart. Walmart's got 20. I'm going to say it's like 1,700 locations, but your average Walmart, of course, doesn't do as much volume as a Lens Crafters. Okay, so you've also got the next biggest is going to be iMasters. You guys have probably heard of iMasters. They're now becoming VisionWorks. If you've heard that, VisionWorks, they have over 1,000 locations across the United States, and they own their own vision called Davis Vision, if you've heard of Davis Vision. So you've got all those optical establishments with Davis Vision, and then there's also a retail, a frame manufacturer called Viva International Group, owned by VisionWorks. And so they make Guess frames, they make Harley Davidson, and a couple of others. So they don't have the big names like the other company, but their prices are lower, so they're pretty competitive. I've worked for them, and I've seen their prices not too bad. I worked for Lens Crafters, and I could tell you Lens Crafters was stagnating when I was there, and they were laying people off, but they're still, if you go look on the New York Stock Exchange, extremely profitable. The company I work for now is called America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses. That company is owned by National Vision. National Vision is over 700 stores between America's Best, some Walmart locations, less than 10%, military bases, Fred Meyer, which is up in the Northwest. It's kind of like a Kroger's Walmart-style store, and Eyeglass World. So you have National Vision. Don't confuse that with Nationwide Vision. Nationwide Vision, which I'm sure some of you have heard of before. Nationwide Vision is a company that's actually extremely small. They have about 64 locations in just Arizona. So the joke in the optical industry is their name's Nationwide Vision, but they are only in Arizona. And they're the primary taker of like Access and are the local favorite there. So as far as that goes, in the 5 years that I've been in the optical industry, the biggest changes I've seen basically is in the pricing. The pricing is out of control. The cost of glasses keeps going up. The average person last year spent over $300 on a pair of glasses. My gosh. And especially, you know, those Ray-Ban frames I just talked about, they start at $159.95. That's pretty much anywhere you go. $159.95. If you find something less than that, it's probably because it's discontinued product or it's fake. And 10 years ago, that same frame went for $30. So you have this inflation of prices, and it's caused by Luxottica. And then the lenses, you know, you have a key player called Essilor. They're a French company. They make, they're the primary maker of the lenses. Including the lenses I have right here with the anti-reflective on there with polycarbonate, pretty common lens type. So you have a couple of key players in the lens market, but not quite as much domination there. So lens prices tend not to be as skewed. When you buy lenses, you don't get that heavy markup like you do with the frame. You get the name brand. You can't really name brand a lens the same way you can with the frame. So overall, as far as the future of this industry, the company I work for is growing at the fastest pace. You know, 700 stores versus 2,200 stores for Luxottica. You know, my company's fourth. Their company's first, but my store from year to year is opening an extra 50, 60 stores. Luxottica is actually closing stores because they kind of hit that glass ceiling. You know, you can't go so high when you offer something that expensive. But at the same time, they're more profitable than they've ever been. So it's like they keep hiring minimum wage people selling $400 pairs of glasses. That doesn't make any sense. You're a medical field, you know, mixed with retail. So on the other side, VisionWorks is growing. So they're taking market shares, getting taken from Luxottica. So eventually things will balance out. But the kind of the sad story is back in the early 2000s with Oakley. Oakley, everyone loves Oakley nowadays. Everyone's seen it. But Oakley actually, in the early 2000s, had a dispute with Luxottica. And Luxottica said, oh, well, I guess we just won't carry your product anymore. We don't like your prices. And so you go to Sunglass Hut, there wasn't Oakley anymore. Oakley stock plummeted, went to the lowest point it had ever been. And then you know what Luxottica does? Oh, we'll just buy you. They just offer money and buy them. So that's really anti-monopoly there. Fortunately, Luxottica's offered to buy VisionWorks in the past. They said no, which is good. Keep it, you know, monopoly from occurring, because you get the two largest opticals and all of a sudden over half of optics is owned by one company. That'd be bad. And I think, I don't know for sure, you know, there's always rumors, you know, running around that they were going to buy my company, the National Vision that I work for, and I don't think that'd ever pan out. I don't think the management and the CEO of my company would want to be bought by Luxottica, a company that's just this giant monopoly that pushes down wages. So overall, I would say the future of optics, the place it's going is lower cost. You're getting companies pushing up against Luxottica, offering product that's similar. Actually, the lenses are made by the same company, just charging a lot less markup, because people go to LensCrafters and expect, because they're paying a lot more for the frame of the lenses, that the lenses are better quality, which is kind of funny, because you come to my store and you'll pay $90 for a poly lens. You go to LensCrafters and spend well over $200, so you pay over double, and it's the same exact lens, literally. The packaging is the same. It's cut the same way. It's not like you're getting this high-quality lens, and of course they tout these little machines. So I see the future going towards eventually the cost of the glasses going down, better features. You know, they're offering new types of transitions starting a couple years ago. They've been rolling them out with all these different companies. My company just got it recently. And it's really exciting that, you know, you get more options, more choices. Glasses are more of a cosmetic thing nowadays. They're not as geeky and more fun to have. And basically, I feel that, yeah, you'll see some change and some more affordable options. And definitely, I always recommend everyone not to necessarily take my opinion, but to actually look around. Take your prescription, go to these different places, get priced out with what you want, learn about the different options that you have as far as lenses, because there's many. You know, there's not just one lens. There's always going to be more than one lens. There's going to be a lens the doctor recommends, but there's going to be alternatives. And so it's up to you to educate yourselves. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you have any questions or comments, let me know.